podcast. We are fresh from a 4-day bank holiday weekend. Thank God. Ellie, how did you spend your 4-day weekend?
Guys, we're recording this on the Monday, Easter Monday, so it's almost over, but it was just sensational. It was almost too long though. Like, imagine having that every week, 4 days off. Imagine if you worked a 3-day week.
Oh, beautiful.
Insane. It's too long. I think a cheeky 3-day weekend is fantastic. But once in a while, 10 out of 10. What did I do? Thursday, I've discussed this with Maggie, but I basically went out with colleagues, had a good time, got in really late. So Friday, had a nice lie-in, cleaned my whole house, chopped bottom, organised all my cupboards, so they're looking TikTok worthy. Do you know what I mean? Like
No,
Pinterest
guys,
worthy.
Ellie's cupboards look in. This is peak adulting. And in fact, I'll put pictures in if you don't mind. Because
Yeah.
I was just looking at it like, wow. I was so impressed.
Guys, having my own house, yeah. My OCD has never been happier. Like, I just feel amazing. I know we're moving room by room. We've only done a couple of rooms. The kitchen was pretty much fine when we moved in. There's a few bits and bobs we need to do. But I just know, give me like a year when this whole house is done. It's going to give show home.
Oh, I love it, darling.
Yes, love that for me.
Yes.
But then we hosted Biddy's whole family on Friday, which was so nice for the games night.
Oh.
We were worried about everyone fitting, but actually it was fine. It was so lovely. It was nice for everyone to come see the house and stuff. His nieces came, like brother, sister, their partners. It was really nice. And then Saturday was lovely. I chilled. I went for a run. I went swimming, spent some time in the sauna. Oh. Sunday saw my family. And then today went to house shopping for the bathroom. And then I'm going to go for a swim and sauna. I was going to run too, but I'm like, do you know what? A bitch is tired.
Yeah. Can I ask, by the way, what running shoes do you use? Because my knees were really hurting when I was running. I think it's because I had the wrong shoes.
Billy cusses me out for my shoes. I wear New Balances, which you probably shouldn't.
Oh, yeah. I don't know about that.
Yeah. I need to get proper running shoes. I've tried a couple. I tried Adidas ones that I just got from an outlet, like cheap ones. I think they're like, I can't remember what they're called. They were okay, but they didn't feel comfy around my feet. Then I tried some Asics, but again, didn't feel comfy. They actually hurt more. They felt like I was pounding the ground.
Damn.
And then I went back to my New Balances. I'm not even joking. They're the most comfy. Do you know the ones that everyone wears?
Yes.
They're like a bit bulky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are the ones I'm running. Personally, I love them.
I kept seeing, is it Hoka or Hoka? It's
Yeah,
one
they're
with
meant
like
to be
the
good.
thick sole. I saw those in Vietnam because like shoe shopping there is way cheaper.
Yeah.
And I was tempted to buy them, and I was like, I'll get into my running bag with these. And then I was like, no, get into your running bag. If you really wanted to run, you would run. And I can't be buying things. And at the moment, I'm trying to get back into my pole fitness bag. So I was just like, let's just leave that at that. But yeah, my knee, like I remember the last time that I went running, when I went run club, my knees and legs were just hurting because I just didn't have the proper shoes.
Yeah, I need to invest. I'm not gonna lie. The only reason, so I've only just started running again because I've got a half marathon at the end of this year, and I'm like, a girl needs to train.
Yeah.
Like, but you're talking about pole and stuff like that, Maggie. There's just not enough time in the day. There's not enough time in the week. There's not enough time in a month. I just can't. I want a big bum, thick thighs, small waist. I want to run. I want to work out. I want to go sauna. I want to swim. Where? I want to work for a living. Do you know what I mean? And then I want to have some fun. I want to have some downtime. I want to clean my whole house.
I know. Me and Lucia were talking about this the other day because you know the 75 hard challenge.
I've heard of this.
So you do.
Don't, Maggie. It's another thing I'm going to want to do now.
No, don't. You don't have time for it. I'm telling you now, because it's 75 days of really strict. Like you commit to reading every day, eating well, like no sugar, no alcohol. But you do 2 45-minute workouts every day.
Where's the time?
I was like, only influencers can do that. Or people on sabbatical. Who has the time?
No, because it's not a 45-minute workout. You've got to get ready before that. You've got to stretch.
Exactly.
You then got to shower, wash your hair. No,
yeah.
I'm not doing that. I can tell you now for free, but it sounds fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's not for me. I think people do their iterations. There's like 75 soft as well, which is like an easier version.
Love it.
But yeah, no, it's not enough hours in the day.
No, I'm trying to become a financial advisor too on the side. She jokes, just trying to learn about finances. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've
That's
really joined
difficult.
the wave of people who are mad that we weren't taught about finances in primary school and secondary school because I hear it.
No, oh, sorry. I hear it too. I just rambled my microphone in my cup. I hear it too. It's like, and I was watching something about this, which was saying that people get like, you get to pick what you put in our education system,
Yeah,
and they just happen to pick things like Pythagoras theorem and stuff
it's
like
always
that.
that one.
It's always
Pythagoras
that one.
theorem, trigonometry. Like, when am I going to use that? Am I no?
Exactly. Like you do need, I do think there should be a separate subject which should be about life skills, about
Yeah,
bills and girl understanding like how council tax works, and because that's something that
yeah,
we all need to know, understanding how interest rates work from a bank. Like some parents might not have that knowledge to be able to pass down to their kids. I think that would be amazing.
and I think Sorry, guys, I'm rambling, but politics and economics should be compulsory. Same way geography and history are compulsory. That shit should be. You should understand that when you vote, what you are voting for.
Exactly. And
Like, how is
also
that not compulsory?
understanding how to read manifestos, how to understand
Yeah.
what political leaders are saying, what's going on in the world, current affairs. That's so important. It impacts us every day.
Yeah, and when I was little, guys, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, the thought of reading the news, can I? No, I can't be bothered. So now I'm 20, big 25 years of age, trying to learn all this shit that I should have actually been reading for time.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm exactly the same. One of my colleagues is based in South Africa, and he was saying, I don't know if I've told this already, if I have, my bad.
It's not
But
ringing a
he was
bell.
saying that, you know how kids are using AI to write their homework and stuff now?
Yeah.
He was saying that in South Africa, what they've done is they set homework to ask ChatGPT to answer this question, this homework assignment. So it'd be like, tell us about the Tudors in England or whatever. Ask ChatGPT to write the answer, copy it, and then when they come to class, they all together critique the answer and why it's not very good, why it's missing information, what is good about it. And that is
Oh
fantastic
wow.
because that's teaching them discernment when looking at AI
Mm.
tools, which I think is amazing. It's like you're not fighting against it, but you're teaching them how to use it properly and not to 100% trust the source.
That's so clever. I love that.
Yeah, I know. Love it as well.
Yeah. But, we don't have time to rewrite the curriculum, but people who do, start working because,
Yeah, that
yeah.
was such a random tangent, but yeah, we can have a
I
go.
know. We just go wherever the wind takes us when we talk about this podcast.
Exactly.
But you haven't told me about your 4-day weekend. What did you
Yeah,
get up to,
so
darling?
it was really nice. I on Thursday I had a meeting with my CEO and my manager
Lovely.
because it was basically because I'm working on this really big project in Thailand and I'm doing it on my own.
Oh,
I just
nice.
I just wanted to confirm, like, this is the problem statement and this is how I'm framing it and this is how I'm framing the solution. Is this like they know better than me? And my manager really kindly set it up so that I could speak to the CEO. And honestly, I was with them for like 4 hours, and I
Wow.
honestly feel like I got a masterclass in speaking, in how to like frame an argument. Just this guy is so knowledgeable. I can't even describe. Like you'll be having a conversation about anything, and he'll be like, "Yes, and in the 1860s,
Yeah.
this started because like he just has all of that knowledge, but in a way that's not boring. Like in a way that's
Yeah.
really interesting. You're like, I'm writing this down because I want to find out more. Like, so I just that was really energizing. I just felt really, really good about myself that day.
Wow. Our Thursdays were so different.
I know.
I was like, let me just go to the pub all day. Mickey, I love this for you. That's amazing.
No, I felt really, really lucky to be able to have that. And it was just really interesting. It's just like a fountain of knowledge. I just feel like I learned so much, so much,
So
so
much.
much. But then because they both live in North London, so they were like, "Oh, just like we'll do the meeting there," and I was like, "Yeah, fine, I can travel. It's not a problem." But by the time I traveled back, I literally sent a couple of emails like on the commute and did like a couple of urgent things. But like, when you're really getting into the crux of your project, like I needed to
Mm-hmm.
write stuff and I needed to edit some things and do some research. didn't have time for that. So I didn't do anything.
Yeah, but it happens. At least you had that meeting. That sounds 10
Yeah.
out of 10. And then now tomorrow you can hit the ground running. At least it's a 4-day week. Like,
I know.
again,
Oh God.
lovely. And we've got another bank holiday in 2 weeks.
I do kind of wish that, like, I was thinking about it this weekend. I was like, I wish it was kind of spread out a bit more.
Yeah.
Because now it's like I don't need 4-day week and then another 3-day week again and again. Like, I'd rather spread it out for when I do need it and I'm feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah, like June and July are a bit neglected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But
They
yeah,
need some
then
love.
I had some friends come over. We just had like a really cute sleepover. It's
Oh,
just
I
really
love
nice
that.
to, like, because I'm not drinking, it's just very interesting, my dynamics in social situations, because I'm having to like I bet if I was drinking, I probably would have gone out drinking this weekend and like gone on a night out or something. But I'm just not doing stuff like that. So it's just nice to do wholesome things.
Yeah, that's
Um,
lovely.
we tried to go to Reform Pilates and we booked this class and we got there and they're like, oh, because you've never been to the studio before, you have to do an introductory class first so you know how this studio works. I was like, girl, is it the normal Reformer Pilates chairs? And we like looked over. I was like, is it? She was like, yeah. I was like, we've done Pilates before multiple times. Like, we've been doing it for years. We don't need the introductory class. And she
How
was
did
like,
you book it?
online. They didn't say anything. They
It's
didn't
so
say
bad.
anything. And then she was like, it's just the studio policy, it's for your safety. I was just, I got so mad. Like, I got so mad. Things like this irritate me.
Yeah.
Like, it irritates me so much. I'm like, first of all, like, Alicia was one of the people that was here. She doesn't live here. She doesn't live in London. She lives in Rugby. Like,
Yeah.
when's she ever going to use this class pass again? Second of all, you need to make it clear on your website. You can see that I'm a new customer because I'm doing my login for the first time. I'm setting up an account.
Yeah.
You should have told me. Oh, I was so mad. They didn't let us in. I was absolutely fuming. Now they're talking about giving me a class credit. I don't want to go back.
No. That's such a joke. That is so bad. I was thinking about this and I slightly like it because it does mean that you don't have that like 15 minutes at the start of the class where they're teaching the newbies what to do. But equally, you've said you already know what to do.
It
One.
wasn't a beginner's class though. I purposely booked an advanced class because I hate
Yeah.
doing beginners class because I just always find them so boring. Like, not boring, but
Yeah.
I
No,
feel like
I
I don't
agree.
work anything. So I
Yeah.
never ever book a beginner's class. It was like intermediate or something like that. So I was so annoyed.
Yeah, you wouldn't book an intermediate if you didn't know what you were doing. That's really bad. Can't you complain to class flat?
It wasn't class pass. This was an independent studio in Crystal Palace.
Oh, bloody hell, yeah.
If
What a
it was
nightmare
class
for
pass,
Alicia.
they would have given me my money two seconds ago. Like, it would have been fine. So we're emailing them to try and get the money back. It's just long. Like,
Fair.
everyday complaint for me. Like, I just always have to complain to people. It's so annoying.
Mate, there's been two things lately where I've just lost my money because I'm like, my energy is worth more than this.
I
Obviously,
totally
in
agree.
that case, stood out because what have I? But there's some things where I've just been like, I can't be asked.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. There are things that are like that. But anyways,
Wonderful.
I had a lovely bank holiday weekend. It's been nice to wake up without an alarm, just like chilling.
Hasn't it just? Saturday night, I stayed up till like 1 a.m. And then,
Naughty.
yeah, boy, and then woke up really late Sunday. But last night, 9 o'clock, I fell asleep on the sofa. Then I had to wake myself up and get up to bed. I was like, whew, this weekend is taking it out of me.
No, literally. No, it was great. Loving
Yeah,
it.
so nice to wake up without an alarm. And I've got no blinds at the moment, so I'm woken up by natural sunlight. Like, it's just lovely.
Oh my god, I remember my no blinds era as well. That's
It's a
nice.
sport. Yeah, I need to get some just for privacy reasons,
Yeah.
But that'll come. That'll come.
Oh, I love that.
On that lovely note, should we jump into our episode, or have you got any more updates? Am I missing anything?
No, that's it. Let's jump into our favourite segment of the podcast in this week's episode of Being a Dumb Bitch. So,
What have we got?
I'm 3 months into a new role and hence still relatively spoon-fed while I get the hang of things. A client sent a list of 101 queries that I had to revert to, so I responded to the few I could and asked my colleagues to fill in the gaps. Being the idiot that I am, when responding to the client, I forgot to delete the part of the email chain where my colleague had told me what to write.
No, I
Super
hate this.
embarrassing. Oh, I hate this.
That is embarrassing.
That is embarrassing.
The thing is, I've witnessed this firsthand. The
Have
grad
you?
in my team did that before, but it was internal, so it didn't matter. But it is embarrassing. It is peak.
How does it
Hopefully they
happen though?
don't
Like,
scroll.
so the client sent an email, CC'd everyone, and then he responded without CCing in the client to
That's
just
what
the
happened
colleagues.
at my firm. Yeah. So
Okay.
the grad in my team, I don't know how this one is, but the grad in my team literally emailed me directly on the chain and was like, "Oh, are you happy with this time?" Because we were just arranging an inspection. His wasn't deep at all.
Okay.
And then I was like, "Yeah, if you just go back and say this is what we need to see, blah blah." And then he went back and like he had copied my email, which
Oh,
as he should, like word for word, and said, "Hi, can we please see?" But obviously mine was below.
wait, but if had he forwarded it to you
Yeah, he
and
had
then replied
responded.
separately, it would have been fine in it.
Yeah, that would have been fine.
Okay.
But he
Yeah.
responded on the chain to me, which is what I assume has happened in this case, but it's to a client, which is a bit like, but equally, not everyone scrolls down. So they
I
might not
do.
see that response. It is what it is. You're new. You'll build a
It's
rapport
okay
with that
though, like
client.
who cares? Like it's fine. Even if I did see that, I'd be like, lol. But like I wouldn't be like, oh what a dumb idiot. Like I just feel like they're
Yeah.
just checking to double check. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't. At least there wasn't something confidential. Because I also
Yeah.
reply on email chains, like internally with colleagues. I do this all the
Yeah.
time. I reply and I'm like, oh, have you seen this? Oh, what a joke. Like, I just stopped doing that.
No, I used to do that as well, and then I got paranoid about that happening to me. So I've just started doing it in Teams. I'm like, have you seen
Yeah.
so and so's email? Is he taking the piss?
Yeah. Oh man, happens to the best of us. But thanks for writing in. We love a good
Yes,
in this week's episode of being a dumb bitch. Guys, if you have
exactly.
any mistakes you've made at work that you want to share with us to make us feel a bit better about ourselves, please send it in to grownupsthepodcast@gmail.com, or you can DM us at grownupsthepodcast. Right, let's do, guys, this is a long dilemma this week, so we'll just do the one. But it says, "Hi Ellie and Maggie. I'm writing in because I'm having a really tough time at work. I finished university last summer before starting a role in London in my dream field in September. For the first few weeks, I felt extremely overwhelmed, alone, and generally struggled to get used to the corporate environment. Been there, done that, don't worry. I'm quite a loud, bubbly person outside of work and felt like I couldn't be myself at all. That was until November/December time when the work socials ramped up and I made some really good friends, one of whom I am now super close with. Let's call her Holly. We're now in April and I'm feeling a lot more myself. I'll have lunch with these friends, meet them in the kitchen for a midday coffee, or stop by their desks for a quick catch up. My work is always done on, can I just say, mad that people used to have like not open plan offices. Imagine like you couldn't communicate with your colleagues on the floor. I find that
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, no, I agree actually. It's really nice to like just be able to be like, Ellie, what do you think about blah blah?
Yeah, imagine knocking
Instead
on
of
the
having to knock
door.
on the door. Yeah, no. That's
Madness.
basically messaging on Teams requested a Zoom call. Like it's just long.
Yeah, so weird. But yeah, so stop by their desks for a quick catch up. My work is always done on time and to a good standard, but it's the social side of the workplace that keeps me going. I fully hear it. However, I've started to notice Holly's team are a little off when I come over to see her. They roll their eyes, giggle, or sigh. I've asked Holly about it, but she always pretends she doesn't notice. And I can tell she too is now beginning to look a little uncomfortable when I spend any time with her in the office. What would you do about this? I don't know if to push her on it or just stop hanging out with her, but I really don't want to lose the friendship. That was a lot to digest.
I mean, I feel like if Holly is your real friend, then she wouldn't let this be effective. I don't know. Okay, what's the issue? Is really the question. Like, why do other people have an issue with you?
Yeah, I feel like if people are rolling their eyes and stuff, as harsh as it sounds, they must find it annoying, distracting, or something's bothering them about you coming over, right?
Yeah.
Like the team are getting annoyed with your presence, which is sad. Like that's horrible. Yeah, sorry. That was so blunt, but in reality, that is what it is. And if she was a true friend, She would have just told you that.
Yeah, exactly.
I like to
I
think we're quite open and honest people. Like, if that was us, I'd bloody tell you.
This is the thing. I'm always about going where you are loved, whether that's in relationships, in friendships, at work. I go where I'm loved, and it's working out for me. Like you can, because there's you have to understand you're gonna have to lick ass, but you have to lick ass to people that kind of like you, that are
Yeah.
open to you licking their ass.
Otherwise, you will annoy them.
Otherwise, you'll annoy them, and you need to have discernment about that. You need to really understand how you move around in the world. And that doesn't mean that you should change. But if these people are getting irritated at you coming over, stop coming over and only speak to them
Yeah.
at lunchtime. Like, stop coming over during work hours. Maybe that's what's annoying them.
Yeah, and like, mate, don't get me wrong, in my office, that's pretty standard. Like, I'll walk over to someone and have a chat. But for some people, that might not be normal, and so they might not
Yeah.
like it. But just stop. Like, and if you feel like it's affecting your relationship, I feel like, especially in the workplace, like, what you need to do is, yeah, these are your friends, maybe like proper friends in the workplace. I wouldn't class my work friends and my proper friends. But equally, I know a lot of people at work who go out with their work friends on the weekend. They go to their houses, like they are their best friends. Even my
Yeah,
sister,
yeah.
like some of her closest friends came from work.
Yeah.
But in the workplace, you need to maintain professional, like, what do you call it? Professionality, whatever it is. You need to remain professional at
Professionalism.
all times. Yes, professionalism, that is it. At all times. So like there does need to be a boundary, even if you are super good friends.
And this is where it's like what we were talking about last week. It's really scary when you start building actual relationships with
Yeah.
people at work and you're telling them like really intimate stuff because know that they can switch on you.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, you're still at work. You're
Yeah.
not in the club. Like you are at work. And so I don't know if you're sensing, I feel like I don't know. You always get a gut feel. Not always, sorry. Some people are snaky, but like sometimes you do get a gut feeling of like, I feel like these people don't really like me or something like
Yeah.
that. And I would just distance myself in that case. Like
I
I'm
agree.
not about forcing myself where I'm not loved. Like I will go where I'm loved, and if it's not in the office, I'll do my job. And it sounds like, you know, I think just maybe they're trying to set boundaries with you, and maybe you should set boundaries with them. I wouldn't take it personally though. It's work.
Yeah.
It's not your real life. Like these people don't know you intimately like a friend outside of work might or a family member.
Yeah, mate, love that. Go where you're loved, protect your peace. Like those are words to live by. And if Holly is a good friend, then great. But she's also just trying to probably protect her place in the team because
Yeah.
she's just trying to stay cozy with the people in her team. So don't even take that personally. Um, but yeah, if you want to push her on it, push her on it. If you don't, and you feel like you can live with not knowing, then just distance yourself.
I also think like some people are batty followers. Like if one person on the team who happens to be more of a leader than anyone else says that they don't like someone or says that, oh, that person's kind of jarring. Some people batty follow and are embarrassed to be around that person because they don't have any self-confidence or anything like that. And if that's the case, you don't really want to be friends with someone like that anyways.
Yeah, I agree. Same way you made these friends, you'll make other friends. And it sounds like it's not just her in your group, like there's other people. So just spend lunchtime, work at your desk when you need to work. And it is what it is. It's just a job. Like, just try and, yeah, protect your peace. You'll find your people.
This is like, you know, when you were at school and like your mum didn't like one of your friends and you're like, you
Yeah.
just didn't understand why they didn't like it. I feel like now you're on your own. Like you're at work and you need to figure out who's good for you and who isn't. And that's like a really important skill to have. And if this situation helps you to have that perspective, then there's the silver lining.
Yeah, 100%. Humans are so complex, boy.
I know.
Best of luck. Navigating the workplace is it's tiring. When you think you've got it, something slips. Like
Exactly.
you will never fully have it. There's been times where I'm like, yeah, I've got it now. This is a breeze. And then I'll do something that I'll make myself cringe. Or like I'll do something wrong and I'm like, for fuck's sake, I'm back at square one.
Literally. Exactly.
So yeah, don't worry about it. Keep pushing. Enjoy your lunch breaks. I'm glad you've made friends. But yeah, just don't chill around their desks. Clearly it's not that kind of office environment. Yeah. Best of luck though.
Indeed. And we also did a poll this week. Um, So this was Ellie's been working a lot of overtime lately.
Always. Honestly.
And
Yeah.
it's something that I dabble into as well. And it just made us think like, but if we actually worked from 9 to 6 or whatever, 8 to 5, whatever it may be, would we actually get everything done and be able to have been promoted as many times as we have? Like, is that actually something that is possible? So we put a poll on Instagram and we said, do you think career progression is possible without working overtime? The options were yes, work life balance is everything, and no, to climb the corporate ladder, you need to work overtime. What do you think, Ellie?
I feel like historically, overtime has been expected. Like that's just normal.
Hmm.
And so I feel like we haven't fully filtered out of that. I think flexibility has become more important, but work life balance is still a bit neither here nor there. People still expect you to grind.
Yeah,
And if you do come in on time and you leave on time, I do feel like it raises questions. I've seen it myself.
really.
Yeah.
What of people that clock out at like 5:30 on the dot?
It's so hard with my workplace because I've seen it in the way that like people will turn up on time, leave on time. And I think it does depend if you're lying. Because people will be like, oh, leaving already. Oh, look, yeah,
Yeah.
they're always in that late, like one of those ones. But then I've also seen like my manager, people in my team will leave at like 5 before the working day's even done. But no one will question it. I don't know. I think it's tough.
Because they've built up a reputation already.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think once that's it, you need to put in the hours. I think it's all about being present at the early stages of your career or at the early stages of a new role in a new company. And then I think once you've built the track record and people know what you're about, then you can take the piss. But not even take the piss with to the extent where you're not doing what you need to be doing. It's just that you're doing it. You give a little bit of overtime here, but you take a little bit of overtime or like take a bit of time back over there. Like I think that's the way it should be done. So I think people still would say overtime is important to get promoted.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I was actually working from home with Euphrasia the other day at a cafe in Canary Wharf, and there was two guys next to us who were having a meeting, and they were discussing how I think one of them got a new role or something. I don't know. I don't know the context, but the guy was basically saying like, yeah, I just realized recently that if you want to be super successful and you want to be at the top, you have to work crazy hours and you have to always be on the job and always be all knowing and researching and really
Yeah.
understanding what's going on. And he was like, and I just decided that that's not for me. I don't want that. I prefer to have a balance and just be at this level that I'm at. And that's just not for, and they were just basically talking about how why that path is not for them. And I was listening like, that path is for me. Like, I'm fully prepared to do all of that. I might cry in the process and I might send you voice notes having meltdowns, but I'm prepared to do that. Like, I'm very aware and I'm very prepared to do that. Do I think that I can get to where I want to go without working overtime? No. And I'll tell you why. Because I think there are some people in this world that intelligence just comes naturally to them, like in their own field. And they'll read something and it sticks. They'll read something and it takes them 10 minutes, not 2 hours like it takes me. They'll be able to, because they have so much good background knowledge of
Yeah.
politics and how society works, when they see something in the news, they put two and two and it sticks and it makes sense. For me, I feel like I'm a child. Like I feel
Me
like I have
too.
the development of like a 12-year-old and I feel like a 12-year-old who's learning all of these things. And so for me, I have to work overtime in order to keep up. Whereas for other people, and I know people who are just really like really fast and really just get it, that probably won't have to work overtime. So I feel like it depends on how gifted you are at what you're doing. But there's some creative people that may not have to put in all of those hours because it's just a God given talent, you know?
Yeah. I totally agree with you, Maggie. I honestly feel like at the moment, trying to fit everything in, like I'm trying to learn about finances, investing, all of that stuff. I'm trying to learn about the history of my job and where the student market has come from, how it's changed over the years. And I'm like, I do think that's where background comes into it. I'm not saying that
Mm,
everyone from a lower socioeconomic background is like a little bit less clued up with what's going on in the world. But in my circumstances, I do feel like I haven't had the upbringing where I'm super clued up on politics or I'm super clued up on like what's going on in the world, how history has changed, like our country and stuff like that. I feel so lost and I'm trying to learn it all now. And I'm like, damn, 25 years into my life. And it does make things slower.
it does. It really does. And I'm like, I went for a picnic the other day with my friend from my master's, who I love. Like, I just haven't seen him in ages. And I was really in awe of him because he's doing a PhD at the moment. He's really intelligent, anyways. But we would talk about something, and he'd be like, "Yeah, there was this research done that found," and like I can say, "Oh, I've heard of this research," but the way he spits bar for bar what happened, like he was talking about, and the reason why that works is because, and what they did was, and like the way he was regurgitating it as if he was talking about anything was so. I was literally so in awe of listening to him,
Yeah.
and I was just like, I just respect that. But yeah, 100%. I think your upbringing has something to do with it. I think even something as simple as like if your family sat round the table at dinner time and like talked every night makes a
Mm.
difference in your speech ability. If your parents worked in finance, then maybe they would have discussed something at the dinner table or just in general given you little bits of knowledge depending on how your parents are. But maybe like your parents don't know the information either. Um, and also, I guess the school you go to, the teachers you have, like how much
Yeah.
effort do they make to bring these things to light when it's not really their job, anyways? Um, but yeah, there's a lot of factors that play a part.
Yeah. It's actually mad, but we'll get there. It just
We
takes a
will.
little bit longer and it's exhausting.
It's exhausting. What do you think the people said? Do you think that they think overtime is needed?
I think based on our listeners, yes, they would think overtime is necessary.
The question was, do you think career progression is possible without working overtime? And 56% said no. 44% said yes, work life balance is everything.
So it's still like a fairly even split, but more people think you do need to work overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with them. Based on my experience and what I've seen, other than a few small anomalies, I would agree.
Yeah. And I think you also have to think about what overtime is relevant to your industry because
Yeah.
maybe the overtime is not research, it's not all of this like extra desktop work. Maybe it's actually making sure that you're going to loads of networking events and
Yeah.
you know people and you know the right person who's going to give you a leg up or who's going to help you on a project or who's going to bring an opportunity to your company, and that might be the overtime that you're doing. So it doesn't necessarily have to look one way. um but yeah, I agree. So we asked for people's thoughts on this as well. And someone said, more often than not, I think overtime and shown face are key to career progression, especially when jobs are so competitive. But my manager is a prime example of career progression being possible without this. The man barely works overtime. He strictly sticks to his 9 to 5 and also works flexibly when needed. He's 35 and head of my team. But you know what? Maybe his overtime was being friendly and licking ass, and that did him well.
I was just about to say, maybe he's 35, yeah. So he actually, 35, it's not old when you think about a career ahead. But
It's quite
equally,
young,
if he
yeah.
did an apprenticeship and started when he was like 18, or if he went to uni and started when he was 21, that's still a good 14 plus years of career
Yeah,
development and knowledge.
yeah,
And who's to say he didn't work overtime for all of those years? And he's
exactly.
now in his prime.
Exactly. At 35, heck, you might see me chilling a little bit. Who knows?
Please, Lord.
God willing.
Yeah. So I think it depends what they've put in. What graft have they put in to be head of the team at 35? Now they're chilling. But really
Yeah,
and truly, what did those 10 plus years look like for them to get to where they are now?
exactly.
I'd be
I totally
intrigued.
agree. Yeah.
Someone else said, this, oh yeah, I completely agree with this. This depends wholly on company culture. If you work in a company where overtime is the norm, then you are likely not going to progress without doing some overtime at least. I
Yeah,
agree.
especially like big corporate companies like the Big Four and stuff like that. I'm sure
And they'll just
company.
replace you with someone who will do overtime.
Yeah, exactly. There's a queue outside the door waiting for people to come in. So
Yeah.
I completely agree. Someone said, from my experience, this is true, but it's super frustrating because it's driven by employees. If every employee worked their hours, it wouldn't become an expectation and people wouldn't be expected to work overtime to progress. I see what they mean.
I fully hear this because if everyone didn't work overtime, they wouldn't be able to replace you with someone who did. So everyone would just be equal.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't be an expectation. But then I don't think it's driven by employees. I think it's driven by employers' expectations and the fact that the roles are so competitive that people feel like they have to work overtime to stand out.
Yeah.
There's just not enough time in the day, let's be real.
No, exactly. And this is what I'm saying. Like, you could, for me to stand out, it takes me like doing hours and hours of research for me to find that one golden gem. But for
Yeah.
someone else, they might already know that. So it really just depends on who you are.
100%. My report writing skills, it takes me so long to like word a sentence how I want it to look and
Same.
sound and
Girl.
read. Whereas someone else in my team could just write that sentence off the top of their head in 2 minutes. So the job can be done quicker. But for
I
me,
lit
it can't,
no.
hence the overtime.
I literally every time I discuss something with my manager, she'll be like, "Okay, so," and she'll say a sentence. I'm like, "Let me write that
Yeah.
down. Like that's such a good sentence."
God,
Whereas it's a bar. That doesn't come naturally to me.
no, I cannot wait to look back in 10 years' time and see if we're like that.
Oh, I hope so.
Oh, it will feel good. It will feel
I'll
so
be
good.
exhausted if I'm not. Oh my god.
Could you imagine? Oh, Lord,
I hope.
please.
I hope in 10 years' time, my struggles are should I take that $10 million contract or the $12 million contract?
Love it. Absolutely
Please.
love it. Girl, it's hard.
It's hard.
Um, Someone else said that we'll do this as the last one, guys, and then we'll slowly wrap up. Yes, this is 110% true. I've seen colleagues be passed up for jobs because they have a reputation for being last into the office and first out.
Yeah. I will
Yeah.
say, I remember one of my friends, her head of HR came into the office and she never goes into the office. And she left like as soon as 5 o'clock hit, like she was out of the door. Apparently, everyone in the office was talking about it. It's like you're head of HR and like you're leaving like dead on time and stuff like that.
Wow.
When other people, oh, everyone else has stayed behind, like no one left at 5 p.m. I do feel like there is that. It's also like some people always come in late. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, it's difficult.
I think from when I started my job at my firm to now, our culture has actually changed a lot. Like people leave early. Quite a lot of people. I think maybe because like a lot of the senior people have kids, so
Yeah.
they go to do home pickup and stuff like that. So people actually tend to leave quite early. But in the same like vein, I am always in at 8 a.m. It's very rare that I'll get in after 8 a.m. because I just
Mm.
prefer to be first in to get a head start of the day. And
Wait, what time do you leave your house?
7 a.m.,
So what time do you wake up?
6 a.m.
Damn, girl. Do you have breakfast? Oh,
Some
you don't really
days I
have
don't eat
breakfast, do you?
breakfast. I don't eat
Yeah.
breakfast.
Okay.
Some days if I like want to get a head start on the day and I'm like, I've got a busy day because I don't like feeling stressed and under pressure during the day. I'd rather have more time in my day and feel less stressed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be on the train by 6:52. I would have left my house at 6:30, woken up. The other day, Meggie, I woke up at 6 o'clock and was out the door by 6:30. Half an hour.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I was so proud of myself. I've never got
That's
ready that
so
quick.
early.
Yeah, some days I'm like, I just need to get in and get a head start. Um, but it has helped me in leaps and bounds. Like I've had the opportunity to move teams within my firm when I wasn't happy, and everyone rooted for me because they were like, every team you've been in, everyone has loved you, everyone knows you work really hard, so we'll give you this opportunity.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, my thought process stays the same. I think overtime is essential. There's not enough time in a day.
But this is going back to the dilemma that we had. It's it is very important to know how you're perceived in the company, whether it's good or bad. And I remember in the first role that I was in at this company, I had a meeting with the COO, I think she was, to ask her like how I was perceived to senior management, if at all, if they even knew of my existence, just so they knew of my existence. And I always made sure to speak up in team meetings if I had something to say.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying speak up for speaking up's sake, but try to like bring something to the conversation. Like, don't be shy to say something because everyone else is older than you and you're new. Try to make yourself known, because it definitely will help when you're coming to getting promotions or moving teams, or if you're struggling with something and needing support from someone, or just having a listening ear, or having friends outside of your team. It definitely helps to just speak, so people know who you are and that you're there, and you can build allies outside of your immediate team. Because it is important that if you do one day come in at 10 a.m., people aren't going to be like, what the hell? Like, this
Yeah.
guy's coming in at 10 a.m. What have they been doing all morning? Like, they'll be like, oh, they probably had a good reason because I know their character.
Yeah. It's all about track record. It's all about how people perceive you, how you put yourself across. At the beginning, always work hard. And then you can
Yeah.
slowly loosen the reins a bit. But not loosen the reins to the point where that now becomes your track record. And people are
Yeah.
like, that person's slacking, they don't work as hard as they used to. It's just every
Yeah.
now and then you take a little bit back. But it's really tough. I think it is so hard to find the right balance.
Listen, corporate is not for the weak. I'll tell you that.
Not if you take yourself seriously like we do. Some people just don't care. They're
Some
like,
people don't care.
it's a
The
job.
podcast's not for you. Like,
Yeah.
it's for the people that care.
We're trying to help those people who are stressed like us.
Exactly.
But yeah, on that note, guys, thank you so much for listening, for sharing your dilemmas, the mistakes you made at work. Please do keep sending them in to grownupsthepodcast@gmail.com, or you can DM us at
Grown Ups Podcast. Thank you for listening. Bye.
thanks.